I got a new plant. I don't know where to put him. I can't tell. It's fine. Let's just start the video, shall we? Yeah. So it is a new year and I'm still here. For this channel, basically I want to continue making writing videos. One is in the making, it's just I haven't gotten far enough to like post a video yet, but hopefully soon. And other than that, I just kind of want to document the things that I love, which is what this video is about. So let's talk about all the things that I have loved since the year started. So let's start off with books. I've read 2 books this year. The first one is right here. It is Through the Woods by Emily Carroll, I believe. Yes, I got it for Christmas, and it is a series of graphic short stories that are all pretty creepy. It is all beautifully illustrated. They're sort of like creepy fairy tales, I guess I could say. They all have like a fairy tale-esque vibe in the way that they're told, which I really, really like. They all have this like gut-punching reveal at the end. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them do. You know, kind of like the clue, the plot twist at the end, and they're all like ones that really just like creep you out. Some of them I found a little bit deep, I guess. So like sometimes it took me a couple of times to read it before I got the clue, but that might just be me being dumb, I don't know. I think this is a perfect Halloween read, but also a perfect winter read because a lot of these stories happen during winter time and it's very atmospheric. So this is really cool. Then the next book is a big one. I pretty much spent all of January reading this book and I loved it. It is called The Book of Strange New Things by Michelle Faber. I lent this book from my dad, who is a big Michelle Faber fan, and I mean, I guess so am I. Now I've read 2 of his books. How do I describe this book? It's about this guy called Peter. He is a pastor and he gets chosen to go on a mission, like a Christian mission, to spread the word of God in a mysterious, very, very far away place. He's very excited about it, but of course the negative part about it is that he can't take his wife with him. He has to go there alone, which kind of puts them in like a long distance relationship, but like an extreme version of that. I don't want to say anything more. You know, Michelle Faber, I don't know, is that how you pronounce his name? Michelle Faber? Michelle Faber? His books are often really mysterious. Part of the fun, I feel, is to go into them blindly and to sort of discover those mysteries for yourself. So that's why I'm not going to say anything more about where exactly Peter is going. I guess the book is about Peter and his wife's relationship and the struggles they face being so far away from each other. The book is about humanity in its entirety, about resilience and faith and how people need other people to lean on. It's about planet Earth and all the things us humans have done to it. And it's about just the concept of being human and what makes us human, I guess. That's all I'm gonna say. It is a very slow book and it is like 600 or so pages, so that's why it took me quite a long time to get through. And I think for some people this book might be too slow. For me personally, I really loved the sort of slow exposition and slowly figuring out more and more about where we are and what's going on. But I think the biggest strength in this book, and I think, well, in the other book I've read by him, I read Under the Skin as well. The biggest strength in this book is the descriptions. Michelle Faber has this way of, and this is something my dad has also said, he has this way of describing such absurd worlds and situations, but describing them in such a way that you 100% believe in their reality and feel like you're there even. I just love that about his works. This book made me cry. This book made me think. I don't know, I just think it's a really, really good book. And if you're in for like a slow, pensive, fantastical / realistic book, give it a go. Then I watched 3 movies in January. The first one I watched was Lady and the Tramp, the remake of it, the live action version. I had been putting off watching the live action version, mainly because I mean, Disney's live actions haven't really been, let's not talk about it. Basically, I had a lot of fears with this movie because this movie could have gone so wrong so easily, but this movie completely took me by surprise. It was so charming and so funny, and I want to watch it again. I watched this with my husband and my parents, and all of us really, really liked it. I think they were very smart with how they approached this movie. I think they really nailed the tone that this movie needed in order to succeed. And I really wish that this movie got more recognition because I think it's so good and it's so much better than a lot of other Disney remakes. I thought the casting was brilliant. I loved how we got to see a little bit more of Jim Deere and Darling, and yeah, their casting was great. Also, Yvette Nicole Brown showed up and I was like, I love her. I loved her role in it. All the dogs were just so funny. They were so funny, and they all had like their characters that were just portrayed so well, because I rewatched the original a couple months back, and I really like Lady and the Tramp as a movie as well, but honestly I think I might like this one more. I don't know. I love both. This movie, it made me laugh so much, like laugh out loud funny, but it also made me cry. The only two negative points I have was that they changed some of the lyrics in the songs, like He's a Tramp. They changed some of the lyrics because like I love singing that song. I don't know if it's because some of the lyrics were problematic. I don't know, so like I'm sorry if that was the reason that I'm being insensitive right now, but I was a little sad that they changed the lyrics. And second of all, also in the beginning, Lady's animation seemed kind of off, which was weird. Like all the other dogs seemed fine, but whoever animated Lady, especially in the beginning of the movie, something was off. I don't know what was up with that. Did anyone else feel that? That was weird. Yeah, aside from that, the animation I think was great too. Yeah, good movie, yeah. And then the other two movies that I watched are, I'm just gonna put them together. They're Night at the Museum 1 and 2. Night at the Museum is such a feel-good movie for me. And it's like a movie that I watch when I feel like I need a pick-me-up. It's so fun. It's so fun. I love the cast. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Ben Stiller, but like Owen Wilson is so good in this movie, and Robin Williams is in it, and Dick Van Dyke is in it. Oh my god. If you don't know what it's about the night guard at the Museum of Natural History, and at night all the exhibitions come to life, and it's just so fun. It's just so fun. That's just a good concept, by the way. I wish more movies like this were made these days, but I feel like concepts like this don't get turned into movies anymore. I don't know. That's just a hot take for another video. Oh, I love this movie so much. I don't think it's like a masterpiece or anything, but it's a good feel-good movie. And then I watched the second one, I think for the first time, or maybe I watched it but I forgot it existed. This one, honestly, it's something. The second one is very heavy on the comedy to the point that it's kind of ridiculous. No, it's completely ridiculous. And so like it's still funny, but I feel like it lacks in a lot of other departments, like, you know, storytelling wise. I can't really say this is a good movie. Like none of it makes sense, but like I'll watch it again just like for shits and giggles. I think this would be a really fun movie to watch when you're drunk. Yeah, because it's just so ridiculous. It's so stupid. I know there's a third one as well, and I'm gonna be watching that one soon, so we'll see how that goes. Then I finished one series, and that one is now one of my favorite series of all time. It is a Japanese high school drama called Sanne Eigumi. I think the English title is Mr. Hiragi's Classroom? Homeroom? It's so good. So the story is, there's this class of students, and right before graduation, I believe like a week before graduation or something, their homeroom puts them all in the classroom, and he locks the doors and he says, from now on, you guys are my hostages. A while back, one of their classmates had committed suicide. That's sort of the catalyst of why he's doing this. He tells his students that it wasn't a suicide, but that it was murder. And he says, you guys are not leaving this classroom until we figure out who killed this girl. And if the students don't want to cooperate with him, he's gonna kill them one by one. Just like that, like psycho. He even gets social media and the police involved by broadcasting everything. Oh, also he blows up the school. I forgot to say that. He blows up the school so that literally they can't leave. In the beginning, it seems like this complete psycho story of this like teacher who's just psycho and he just wants to like, you know, but it's so much more than that. Everything you think is going on in the beginning gets flipped on its head like multiple times. You never know who is the good guy, who's the bad guy, who's doing what, who has what motives. Like, it's mind-blowing. There are so many plot twists in this, but none of them feel cheap because every single detail in this series fits together into this big, beautiful, perfect puzzle in the end that blows your mind and is just so satisfying. What I think I like the most about Sannen Eigumi is the moral and the message of the story, and sadly, I can't really say much about that without spoiling the end, so I'm not gonna tell you much about it. I guess the only thing I can tell you is that it's about treating people with kindness and thinking before you act. And also, this drama gets better every single episode. It's one of those dramas that like literally it's like this and you just want to keep watching. And oh my god, I wish more people knew about this drama. I think this drama is so important and I think everyone should watch this, especially young people. I think this is such an important drama and I think we can all learn a lot from it, and please watch it. Lastly, there's one tiny little category that I also want to mention, and that's music. I don't know if I've ever really talked about like music faves, but I just want to, so I'm gonna. The first artist I want to mention is Jo Dassin. I guess I've known him and his songs for like a long time, but I never properly listened to them, and I like somehow really got into his music this month. It's kind of like French chanson music. It's very romantic, beautiful, you know, vintage vibe music, and it's just so relaxing to me. I guess his most famous song is Si Tu n'existais pas. That one I already knew, and that one is just kind of like an all-time favorite. But if I had to name some other titles I really like is À Toi and Le Petit Pain au Chocolat. I love riding my bicycle through the streets listening to his music, and it just makes me feel so relaxed and at peace. Like, that's the vibes. Even though like a lot of his music is very melancholy, even though it makes me feel melancholy, it also makes me feel content. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's just like, there's such a warmth to his voice, and I think that's what gives it. I really like him. Second artist I discovered this month was Phoebe Bridgers. I didn't know she existed. I really like her stuff, man. I had this evening where I just like went through all her music videos and like saved them into my playlist. I love the color of her voice and I love her lyrics. I love the different kinds of sounds that she can create because like she like mixes a lot of stuff together that she mixes it together in such a way that's really fresh to me. I think the song I like the most is I Know the End, or I Know This Is the End. What's it called? I Know the End. The song is just so big. I love the way it wells up. I love when songs do that, you know, when they just start very quietly and they just slowly build. Because most songs go like this, right? But I love when songs just because it just makes you feel so much, because the feelings inside of you as you listen to it well up with the song. And by the end of the first time I listened to it, I was bawling my eyes out, like bawling my eyes out. It reminded me a little bit instrumentally of Arcade Fire, which is always a good thing because Arcade Fire is one of my favorite bands of all time. That song is my vibe. Like that song is And then lastly, I quickly want to talk about K-pop because we can't not mention K-pop. I am one of those hoes. There's two songs I really liked this month. The first one is Wanna's No Diggity. Let's not talk about the title. The song though is so good. It is like the perfect hype song. I particularly love all the parts that Dido sings. His voice just like teleports me right to Mars. But another thing I really like, and this is something that I've noticed Wanna's does in a lot of their songs, so I think whoever produces and arranges their music, they know what's up. I see you. They do this thing where at the end of the song, they don't just go in with another chorus, but instead they change the rhythm up. Usually they like fasten the beat a bunch and they just like add so much stuff. Again, it's sort of like a welling up. It's, you know what? It's more like an explosion than a welling up of sorts. There's just like this explosion of energy that usually goes paired with like crazy intense dancing. And then just like that, bam, the song ends, right? Which leaves you feeling so hyped up and so satisfied. And that is something that I really appreciate ONEUS for, because every time they put out a new song, I'm like, ooh, did they do it again? And they did it again this time, and I just really appreciate that. And then the last K-pop song I want to talk about is Hyuna and her comeback with I'm Not Cool. I've been a Hyuna fan since before she went solo. Like, I'm an old K-pop fan. It's been a while, and she's always been like my favorite solo artist. I just love her so much. I think the song fits her so well. I love the lyrics. I love how basically it's like an anthem for weird people, and she's just like telling you to like just like be weird, and like it's fine because you're gorgeous anyway. And I just vibe with that really hard. I just think that's great. I respect Hyuna a lot, and I'm really happy that she finally was able to make a comeback. And she is like I have listened to that song on repeat since it came out, which is like what, a week and a half ago now. So yes, I think that's everything that I really loved this month. I guess lastly we should talk about my plant that I also really love. Although technically I got her only a few days ago and it's like February already, but that's fine. She's so pretty. She doesn't have a name yet though. But don't worry, we'll get you a name, baby. I don't know where to put her. Maybe I should get like a plant stand or something. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me today. Yeah, I guess that's all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one, I guess. Bye!